So guys, a red weather warning has been announced for Storm Dara in the south of Wales. But we're not in the south of Wales, we're in the north of Scotland, and the weather's still Hamish, how dangerous are we right now? We're getting crashed!
Hi guys, Rob here from Raptastic Paints. Now a few months ago I made a video about getting into Star Wars Legion, and in that video I said this. I have loved building and painting and playing the game, and I'm looking forward to buying more models to do the exact same. Maybe get into a tournament, probably next year. I'm not going to do it this year. So that was a lie. I have now been to 3 Star Wars Legion tournaments this year, since August. This video might have a clickbait title like I go to my very first Star Wars Legion tournament. If it does, gotcha, fooled ya, I've now been to 3. The first one, it was me, Fraser and Hamish, and one other person, so didn't really count that one. The second one, slightly better attendance, but my 2 games were against Fraser and Hamish, so I'm not counting that one either. Although I did win a very nice wooden spoon prize of some ComScan tokens. But this was my first ever AMG sanctioned Legion tournament where I didn't play my 2 best friends. So, roll footage. So Hamish and I travelled up on the Thursday for an event on Saturday. The plan was to meet up with our friend Cammy, the most handsome man in the northeast of Scotland, and get some games in, generally just hang out with the boys before our event at Kelpie Games in Keith. Although the rest of the weekend would be pretty torrential weather-wise as a result of the previously mentioned Storm Dara hitting Britain, the drive up on Thursday was glorious. It really gave us a chance to just not stop because we're driving, but stare and admire at this beautiful country that we're lucky enough to call home. It's an absolute crime that I haven't done more exploring of Scotland, and it's something that I'm hoping to change over the next couple of years, just to get out there and take in the scenery and the sights. I do encourage any of my fellow Scots to do the same. Get out there, just look at how beautiful your country is and how lucky we are to have it, and just take it all in. Now this was my first time at Kelpie Games, and I was blown away by the selection of games that they had. Not just Games Workshop games, lots of independent games, and of course a lot of Star Wars Legion stuff as well. And a very handy pre-owned section, which I definitely took advantage of. I'm happy to say that I didn't spend too much this weekend. I did treat myself to 2 boxes of Rebel Veterans, one pre-owned and one brand new, in order to try out this absolutely disgusting looking 6 veteran list. Hamish and I had a friendly game of Legion in Kelpie. It was so friendly, in fact, that the score doesn't even matter. I don't think we kept track of the score. I don't think any of us actually won. And then we headed back to Cammy's to put our feet up in front of the fire and watch a couple of episodes of Skeleton Crew, which I thought was alright. Friday was more of the same. We went back to Kelpie for a couple of friendly games. Cammy played Hamish and I played Dylan, the owner of the store. The real story, however, was the food. Look at that. That on the left is a black pudding and macaroni cheese pie, and the one on the right is chilli and cheese. I'm actually salivating thinking about them again. After the first bite, I was looking up property values in Keith because I wanted to move up here. And then we just ate some more food and went back to Cammy's. That night I played my very first game of Gaslands with Cammy and Hamish, and it was great fun. I was very happy that I'd taken the time to paint up my Interceptor from Mad Max and my Bumblebee to look the part. It was a great game, very easy to pick up. You just roll dice and move a car around your dinner room table. Definitely going to play it again. Looking forward to kit bashing some bigger and better vehicles though. And then Cammy very kindly gifted me an early birthday present of a Harfkin Salvagers kill team. Now, I've never played Kelpie before, you probably recognise that because you've never seen it on the channel, but yeah, really looking forward to getting those guys painted up. Kill Team content coming soon, maybe? You guys tell me, do you want to see some Kill Team? Or am I just going to paint these and play with them? Not on camera. Saturday rolled around and it was time for the actual games to take place. Now, I wanted to go through my list first because I don't think I've mentioned it until now. My commanders Leia, I had Cassian and Mando as ops, 3 veterans, 3 medium blaster troopers, which will be doubled for my next list, 2 sleeper cell and commandos. Now, my first game was against Morgan, who was playing Empire. He had the Imperial officer as his commander. He had IG-88 Darth Vader, 4 stormtroopers, a shore trooper, Imperial Death Troopers, and an E-Web. So the list sort of matched mine, but obviously I had Darth Vader, who was a huge problem. Now, the main mission for this game was shifting priorities, one that I really like. It's, you know, it's not just sitting on an objective. If you're losing an objective, you get to move it half distance. So I think that's a pretty cool little tweak to the game. The secondary was destroy enemy base. I gave my bomb to Mando, hoping that his range-free movement would be able to fly him up the board and hopefully destroy the enemy base and earn me some VPs to go along with his bounty as well. I started off quite aggressively, which has always been my philosophy when playing as rebels, sort of kill before you can get killed because you are so squishy. But a couple of rounds in, I decided to play the objectives and jumped on the objectives and hunkered down in some cover, and that seemed to work for me. That's probably the way I should be playing rebels the entire time, and I think it will be the way I play going forward. Mando was an absolute monster in this game for me, shrugging off wounds left, right and centre and just mowing through troops. Having his command cards give him like Gunslinger 2 to go along with Arsenal 2 and the one-off flamethrower allowing you to just red dice for each member of a unit. It's great. He squad wiped at least 2 squads by himself and held down quite a number of objectives and VPs. It wasn't all smooth sailing for me. Stormtrooper dice do add up, even though they're white dice. They can still get lucky and absolutely mince you, which happened on a number of occasions when I was playing there. However, my luck did hold out, and at the end of round 5 it was a 12-4 victory to me. A fantastic game, great opponent in Morgan, and I look forward to playing again sometime hopefully. So game 2, I was at the top table, don't know how, but I was playing against Tommy, a fellow Glaswegian who now lives up north, and his list was also Empire, and he also had Vader. You can see a pattern starting to emerge here. His list was Krennic, Vader, 3 Dewbacks and an AT-ST. So it was a good bit meaner than the last list I'd played against. Now, the main mission for this game was recover the research, and another mission that I quite like, to be honest. I think it's in my selection. It may have actually been my selection for this game, but I can't remember. And the secondary was recon mission, which definitely was one of mine. I gave it to Mando, thinking he could always see 2 enemy troops because, you know, he's going to be stuck in the middle of the action. This was immediately a much more difficult game. Not only was Tommy a very experienced player, but his list was suppressive in both terms. You don't know who to go for. You've got Vader, who's just a problem. You've got 3 Dewbacks who have a lot of wounds and can dish out a lot of wounds, and you have an AT-ST which is nigh on unstoppable unless you have some good anti-armour, which I thought I did. My sleeper cell can get up to impact 6, and my rebel commandos have impact 4, so I thought I could chip some wounds off it. Yeah, I couldn't. Unfortunately, Mando was unable to repeat his heroics from game 1, due in part to bad play from me. round 2 I put him in a position where he couldn't see 2 enemy units, so he wouldn't score any VPs, just giving points away at this stage. And then in the next round he was wiped out by stormtroopers. Just really unlucky rolls for me, and they managed to put enough wounds to kill him and Grogu, which would give them a VP as well. So yeah, just really unlucky Mando, unfortunately. However, with that being said, it was a very strange ending to the game. The game ended because I was tabled, which isn't strange if you've seen me play, and at the time I'd only killed 2 models just to rub salt in my own wounds. But the score was only 6-5 to Tommy. We had to take a quick check with everyone to see like what the situation was. Does he win 6-5? No, he just automatically won 12-5. So the score slightly flattered me ever so much, but you know, I wasn't going to complain. So it was on to game 3, the last game of the weekend, and somehow was still in with a chance of podiuming. Not sure how that happened. I was playing against Kevin, who I'd met at the beginning of the day when he came up to me and said, "Do you have a YouTube channel called Raptastic Paints? I think I watched your Rebel Sleeper Cell video." And that was quite a shock. I think it's the first time that someone has came up to me and said that they know me from the channel. So yeah, that was cool. Kevin's a lovely gentleman, and I thoroughly enjoyed our game. Let's go through what happened. Now, Kevin's list was Empire. He had Krennic, Vader, 3 Dewbacks and an ATST. I know what you're thinking, you're not getting deja vu, and no, I am not going old. It's almost the exact same list as Tommy. I think their core troops are slightly different, but yeah. The 3rd Empire list, the 3rd Vader I fought, and yeah, it seems to be a popular choice, I can see why. Now, the main mission for this game was Bunker Assault, which I felt worked to my advantage. Not only was I able to get up the board pretty quickly with the Rebel Sleeper Cell and Mando to score extra wounds on Kevin's bunker, but the game would force him to come to me, and with my 3 turrets on standby and my 3 core units able to put some wounds out as well, I was kind of hopeful. The secondary was sweeping clear, which just involved killing people all over the board. Maybe not the best choice for me when I'm not the killiest army, but can't win them all. The funniest moment of the entire weekend, I think, Legion wise at least anyway, came at the end of round 1 when one of Kevin's Dewbacks had 8 suppression on it and was somehow still alive. It was just shrugging off every wound that I attempted to put on it. It was ridiculous, and I think that was just the way the rolls were going to go in this game. In one very bad turn for me, I overextended Mando trying to chase down Krennic for a bounty, left him exposed, and he was just shot up and killed by regular stormtroopers. In the same turn, Kevin had played Implacable for Darth Vader, which allowed him to go twice, and he managed to kill Cassian and Leia, leaving me in pretty big trouble. At the end of the game, it was a resounding 12-3 victory for Kevin, which was fully deserved. He completely outplayed me and thoroughly outmatched me across all 5 rounds. When we finished the game, I gave him a Raptastic dice because he said he was a fan of the channel, and if you want a Raptastic dice of your own, join my Patreon and I'll give you one of the Patreon exclusive ones. Whilst I'm shelling my Patreon, a huge thank you to my current patrons. I know you guys are absolutely loving all the Star Wars Legion content. There will be more Lord of the Rings content in the new year, as well as potentially that Kill Team content that I was talking about as well. At the end of an excellently hosted tournament by Kelpie Games, I unfortunately didn't win. I came 9th, Cammy came 8th, Hamish was 4th, narrowly missing out in a podium position. Tommy, who I played game 2, came 1st, and Kevin, who I played game 3, came 3rd. So it seems that the shortcut to podium in an event is beating me, because it's 3 points. Yeah, huge thank you to Kelpie Games and Dylan at Kelpie for running the event and letting us all have a good bit of fun. With the tournament over, we said goodbye to everyone we'd met over the last couple of days, retired back to Cammy's for a curry, then sat in front of the fire and reminisced about a great weekend. The next day we had a spot of brunch and then went up the road. It had been a great weekend, but I was really looking forward to getting home and seeing my dog again. But thanks everyone for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if I don't see you before, have a great Christmas and a great New Year.